Welcome back to All Things ETH. My name is Aaron, and on this channel we talk about all things Ethereum. We talk about projects, NFTs, play to earn, DeFi, and price. And today, guys, I want to get back into the LSD shootout that I started a video of next week, give you an update on where I'm at with that. Show you the spreadsheet that I promised and what we're going to look at moving forward. But I also wanted to talk to you about where to keep track of all these DeFi projects. I found two really nice aggregating systems and then a third one as well to kind of show you how to keep track of all these different chains in your assets over multiple, possibly even multiple wallets. So let's jump into it right now. Here is my spreadsheet. So far, I've got, I believe, 7 different option or places where I've got my ETH staked. So CB ETH, that's the Coinbase ETH. We've got the I've got Frax staked ETH in my wallet. I've got some over at the Aztec network. I've got 1 ETH in ZK Money there. It's also the Lido staked ETH there. I've got a synthetic ETH and ETH pair in Convex being boosted. Right now, I get some Curve LP as well as synthetics rewards and some Convex rewards there. We've got the Frax ETH, not staked Frax, but Frax ETH versus ETH over in Curve as well. We're getting some LP rewards there. That's also in Convex getting boosted. And then we've got Earn over at Ribbon Finance, the Lido staked ETH Earn Vault. And then I've also over on Arbitrum, I've got some Wrap staked ETH and just a regular ETH over on Arbitrum. Those are currently in Kyber Swap Farm, making some Kyber rewards as well as the Lido staked ETH rewards, and that actually gets some LDO tokens as well, because when you wrap your staked ETH over in Arbitrum, you get the Lido rewards. So these are the totals right here. I've got some of them are pools, so they have to have at least 2. Most of these aren't 1-to-1 perfectly. They're pretty close. So like the Frax staked ETH doesn't look like a full ETH when you purchase it. It actually looks like a little bit less, although the price is a little higher. So all the ratios are similar, but not perfect. So I'm going to be taking my projected APRs and actual USD growth and dividing it by what we have here in this column C here, which denotes exactly how many ETH are in these pools. So again, we got 3-ish Coinbase ETH, 1 Frax staked ETH, 1 ZK Money Lido staked ETH. That's a private network, which is really cool. Privacy, so it actually doesn't show up in any of the aggregators that I'm going to show you in a second. Convex, and with the synthetic ETH, we have Convex with the Frax ETH, and then Ribbon Finance again with a bunch of ETH. This is where I think I'm going to make the most APR, guys, though there is a little bit of risk because there's some lend exposure as well as some options exposure there. Not a lot, but a little bit. But I do, if you look at the projected APRs over here, the least being the Coinbase, and then Frax, actually looking at putting another ETH into the Frax staked ETH, because it does have the highest APR for a single-sided LP. So and then, or an LSD rather, and then we've got the Wrap staked ETH again. The ZK Money option is really to be farming airdrops, guys. So if you haven't yet, I'm going to start talking a lot more about the possible airdrops as we're starting to see more and more going on in DeFi. L2s are getting a lot more active, and the programs or the projects on L2s are starting to get come to fruition, guys. I do think we're going to see a lot more airdrops in 2023 and 2024, obviously, as well. But I think we're going to start seeing that we've seen a kind of a desert in that regard, or a drought in that regard, in the last 12-ish months, but we did have the optimism drop. Unfortunately, I did not partake in that. I was holding a lot of my ETH in my wallet, not really sure what to do with it back then. So by the end of, I was planning on selling about half of what I made at the top of the bull market, and the projections did not hit where I thought they would. And I just wrote it most of the way back down and started getting back into some of the LSD tokens and ribbon finance and these sorts of things back at the beginning of 2022. But now that we're into 2023, I've learned a lot, gotten into a bunch of LSD tokens here. I'm going to be covering these on my channel. I'm going to do a video for each one of these, show you how to do a convex boosted ETH versus synth ETH in Curve LP. That's a complicated one, and it definitely shows in the fees over here, guys. And I did update the fees. These are exact fees based on the transactions. When you do a transaction in MetaMask, you get the estimated fee. A lot of the time, guys, it's actually a little bit inflated. Sometimes your fees will go over that estimated, but a lot of the times, in my experience, especially lately, is you're getting charged less than the estimated fee. I don't know if I'm just super lucky or if that's the case for everybody, but I think I mentioned we were looking to spend probably about $75 to $100 per complete transactions, getting the swap from the ETH to the synth ETH, and then LPing the two, and then taking the LP over to convex and boosting, and then all the every time you put those into those pools, you have to confirm the transaction first, which costs you like $1.50, and then you do the actual transaction, which could cost you $15 to $25. So they add up quickly, but thankfully I did keep these under $75, much less expensive than I expected, and we hope to be able to recover those fees. And I'm actually going to calculate how long it's going to take to recover those fees based on APRs as well, and I'll cover that in future videos. But let's get into the two aggregators, because I do have a couple different chains here. I've got ZK Money, I've got the Arbitrum pool over in KyberSwap here. I wanted to show you a couple different places to keep track of your assets, and one of these is actually available on mobile. Actually, two of them might be, but I'm using one on mobile so I can actually see my assets grow on my phone, which is really nice because I'm on the go a lot, not in front of my laptop all the time, and get to see what's going on, especially for those less or more risky assets. If you want to make some quick decisions, you can do it, or at least get notified and or check on them more rapidly on your phone than you would otherwise. So the first one, guys, is Zerion. I think I'm saying that right. This is something I found through a little bit of a deep dive into airdrop farming, guys. So Zerion is one of those programs that doesn't have a token yet that I'm aware of, and got some alpha from one of the people I follow on Twitter on getting involved here and checking this out. So I've connected my wallet to this, hoping to use it more often and get a little bit of a better idea of where my assets are. One thing I was running into, especially with the KyberSwap over on Arbitrum, is that here's my Ethereum address. It's connected, but it doesn't show up my farms because I actually did the farming in Arbitrum. I have to go change this to the Arbitrum mainnet every time I want to go check on it. Well, that's frustrating because everything else I have is either on Ethereum mainnet or like I said, zk.money, which again is hidden, so that's a tough one to figure out as well. But to keep track of everything, it's really nice to have it all aggregated. Again, if you're unfamiliar, blockchain is a public ledger. So as long as your address is connected to this portfolio site, it can aggregate all of your transactions and to really figure out what's in your wallet, obviously, but then also what places your money is in, or your Ethereum or whatever tokens you have is in, and then actually show you. I've got this all blurred out for because I don't want to show you everything that I'm doing, but you can see that I've got some liquidity in Uniswap. I've got the Frax we talked about, the convex. It doesn't show, interestingly enough, I don't know why Zerion doesn't show the Frax side of the convex booster. It is an entirely different site, so maybe it's just not connected yet. But I do have a little bit of more Kyberswap stuff going on with my Web3 wallet, actually, and my Coinbase wallet. So a lot going on here, guys, and it really shows you, it gives you a breakdown of all the things that are going on with your assets. And then one that I actually like better, that's also in that airdrop category, is this guy here, DeBank. I'm not going to show you, there isn't a way to, when you click this icon up here, it will show you all of the assets that you have. So I'm not going to show you much of the site, but go check it out for yourself. DeBank has more functionality that I've seen over Zerion. It gives you also a chat platform, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how useful that will be, but there will be a chat function, this little hi thing in beta here. I haven't looked into bundles. It'll track whales for you if you do become a premium member, which is kind of cool. Tokens, protocols, NFTs, all these things are right here in the dashboard, which is kind of nice. But what I liked about this the most is it actually showed more of my assets. It did pick up on the Frax Convex booster. In fact, this one may have even seen my ZK.money transactions as well, although I need to verify that, and I can't do that here. But again, I wanted to show you this last aggregator. It is called APY.vision. This one helps you actually with liquidity pools. In particular, right now I'm in a liquidity pool staking or putting ribbon against USDC to add liquidity to Uniswap v3 and making some killer APRs right now in that specific position. But what it does here is it takes the total provided, gives you a market value of the current tokens that you've put in. It gives you total rewards, and this is actually after fees. So it calculates all of your gas fees for you, which is awesome, and gives you an actual rundown of what you've made in particular. So total position gains, this is this factors in what you could have made if you had just left your tokens in this particular one. It basically factors in your impermanent loss. So I could have made an extra $37 apparently if I hadn't pit USDC against Ribbon Finance. So if I was just using this as a if everything was staying as usual, or if I hadn't changed my ribbon into USDC, I would have had a little bit more actual gain in the ribbon token. So I wouldn't have had that impermanent loss there. But what I'm getting here is just a very, very specific readout of this exact pool. Now, one cool thing, especially for my Axie Infinity DeFi guys here, this will work with your Ronin wallets, which is pretty fantastic. This will break down all your transactions on your Ronin wallets and give you your LPs that if you're doing any AXS staking, or your WETH to RON. Wrapped ETH to RON liquidity pools as well, which is pretty awesome. I wish it broke down more about Axie costs and that sort of thing, but for right now, this really dials in your gains and losses in liquidity pools. So if you're into liquidity pools, I highly recommend you check out APY Vision. Maybe even link that with DeBank or your Zerion to just give you a better picture of what's going on in your specific DeFi situation. I want to get into more, not only the LSDs, but into the DeFi and airdrop scene right now, guys. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on in upcoming videos. Again, I'll go through each one of these and how I went through each transaction, give you a tutorial on how to get each one of these awesome APRs. I mean, 14.9%. That's a projected, obviously. Could be a little bit less on the Ribbon Finance Earn Vault there. There is a little bit of risk involved. It's not as cut and dry as some of these others. Now, the Kyber Farm, this one is a little bit more risky, I would say, and you're getting paid in Kyber rather than some of the other more, tokens that have been around for longer. I mean, Kyber Swap is definitely a little bit more recent of an addition to the liquidity pool space, but has been good, and a lot of people have recommended it. So I'm going with it, guys, and we'll see what happens. Again, these are variable APRs, so they will be changing, and I will be updating this video hopefully quarterly, if not sooner. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave some questions in the comments about what you'd like to see about DeFi, about liquid staked derivatives, the LSD ETH tokens in particular. And then tell me if you've got any alpha on some airdrops. I'll be doing my own. Follow me over on Twitter at AllThingsETH to see what I'm up to as far as airdrops there as well. I'll be trying to share as much as I can on that platform, and that's going to be much more often, obviously, than creating videos. So follow me there. I'll link that in the description below. So give me a follow and leave some comments so that we can be on the same page of what you guys want to learn about. And I'll be following up with that on every single comment. I'll be following up. So thank you so much for watching, and God bless.